I've started to think, okay, what other areas could I apply this to? What areas could you apply this to? You know what the answer is? Everything. Here's why this was so powerful. I know these concepts. I teach some of them myself, but I didn't prove it yet to myself. I didn't prove it yet that I could be consistent, that I could do it, that I would accept that it's not about being perfect or making it so big to count. You can't prove it unless you do it, right? Part of doing it is making it small and manageable enough. But most of all, it's being committed to show up. Hey everybody, welcome to Finding the Upside. I'm so happy you chose to join me today. Today, I have a shorty episode for you. And what I want to share today is I'm going to peel back the curtain a little and share with you something I'm really proud of myself for and a goal that I set at the beginning of this year to learn Italian. I am on my 283rd day of a streak of practicing Italian every day. Now, I set this goal early in the year, and I've said it many times to try to learn Italian. I do speak Spanish, but I am of Italian descent, and years ago my grandfather tried to teach me Italian. I had no interest, and over the years I have really wanted to be able to accomplish this, to be able to learn Italian, to be able to speak Italian. I don't know why, I just thought, because I know my own journey with learning Spanish and becoming fluent in Spanish. I wouldn't call myself fluent, but I am proficient. But in the quest to do that, I know how hard it was and what a big task it was. But I also realized that if I don't start, I'll be no closer to getting there. So being here today on my 283rd day on a streak of practicing Italian every day, I'm on track to finish this year with my commitment of practicing every day. And that's really what I set out to do, is to learn Italian. I was going to practice every day. So let me share with you how I came to this. You know, I was at a Mel Robbins event, and if you don't know who Mel Robbins is, she's one of the leading, if not the leading, behavior change specialists probably in the world. And something that really clicked that I heard at this event was so simple. I've heard it before, but I really didn't apply it. Why? Did I not believe it? No, I believed it, but it just never seemed to get integrated no matter what I tried. So are you ready to hear what it is that I heard that day that finally clicked? Here it is. That changing behavior or hitting a goal is not about perfection, not about progress totally. It's more about consistency. And just by making a commitment to growth and showing up, and where you're meeting yourself where you are and making the commitment to be different, that's what can make the difference. And that is what's different for me, because just committing to showing up every day, practicing Italian every day, just doing that, because I made that commitment to show up every day, even if I didn't do it perfectly. So let me share. I think also part of what helped this commitment for me is that not only I didn't want to break the streak, so it was gamified in a bit, but the streak was about showing up and doing a 2 to 3 minute lesson. Yeah, learning Italian. That was the streak. So part of it is that I took this and I took it in bite-sized pieces that was manageable for me. Just showing up every day and doing a 2 to 3 minute lesson was practicing Italian. Small step, yes, but it was a small step that I could manage. And because I embraced the mindset of showing up differently for myself, I think that was the underlying foundational thing. So, what made this different in combination with making it manageable and realistic, something I could handle, meeting myself where I was. Like, I couldn't study for hours a day learning Italian. I couldn't do the tapes where you're repeating things over and over and over again for an hour. I just couldn't do it. It was something I could handle, which was to practice every day, 2 to 3 minute lesson. It allowed me to actually make more progress than ever before on this goal. And really, the difference was the consistency. So I have to laugh because I was so committed to showing up each day and making that streak not be broken that there was one time where I had to pull over. I was out with a friend and I had to pull over. It was 10 minutes till midnight. And I said, I got to pull over for 2 minutes because I have to do my Italian lesson so that I don't break my streak. Now, I got to tell you, it's true that this app does give you some safety nets where if you're doing well, it gives you some streak freezes. Okay, so that's why I started in February. I'm at day 283 where it kind of froze my streak. And that was simply because sometimes I didn't get to the lesson until after midnight. So technically I missed a day. Or when I was traveling, like, and in a plane and didn't have access, or I fell asleep before midnight. But here's the thing. I never paid for a streak freeze. So I wasn't like gaming the system or cheating. So really, I never broke the streak. And that's why I'm at 283 days here in November. I'll probably finish the year somewhere around 320, if my calculations are correct. But that's not the point. The point is that I showed up consistently every day for 2 to 3 minutes. So, why am I talking about this today? Am I talking about this to brag on myself about this accomplishment, even though I am so proud that I have 283 days under my belt of practicing Italian? Yay! No, I'm talking about this today because this is such a game changer to the way I've approached things. I've started to think, okay, what other areas could I apply this to? What areas could you apply this to? You know what the answer is? Everything. Here's why this was so powerful. I know these concepts. I teach some of them myself, but I didn't prove it yet to myself. I didn't prove it yet that I could be consistent, that I could do it, that I would accept that it's not about being perfect or making it so big to count. You can't prove it unless you do it, right? Part of doing it is making it small and manageable enough. But most of all, it's being committed to show up, not giving up, not saying, oh, I missed a day, so screw it. No, pick up right where you are. And guess why? Because if you give up, you're no closer to the quest of doing the thing, making progress toward that thing. There's the power in the principle. All I had to do is prove that I could show up differently, that I could not give up, that I could say, oh, I didn't do it exactly right, so forget it. That perfection instead of small steps. If you can relate to this, I challenge you. Pick something that you can start on in this same way. Make it something that allows you to prove it to yourself that small, consistent actions are the way to move you from where you are to where you have tried to go before. In my experience, learning Italian has been a goal that I've set every single year, but I never did anything because I kept thinking that I had to make it this big hour-long commitment, that I had to be speaking it by a certain amount of time, that I had to know a certain amount of words. No, I, in all my years, never got further or even close to where I am today, where I'm practicing it for 283 days. So Go find something that allows you to prove to yourself that those small, consistent actions are the way to get further than you ever have before. Now go give yourself a high five in the mirror right now for committing to showing up differently for yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you think this could help someone, please share this with someone that you think it'll help. Go ahead and grab the link for this episode, share it or text it to a friend, send it through social media, or tag them on the social media post for this podcast episode. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time on the next episode of Finding the Upside. Bye, friends.